Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2021 Audi RS6 Avant. Now this has 1215 horsepower, 833 pounds-feet of torque from a 5.7 litre twin turbocharged V10 engine. The car itself now weighs 3,552 pounds, still has its all-wheel drive system, but it now has off-road tyres and off-road suspension, and it can do 0 to 60 in 2.446 seconds, 0 to 104.730 seconds, and going to a top speed of 253 miles an hour. So obviously the previous generation, I think it was RS6, had a V10 engine in it, so technically not something completely out of the realm of possibility for this car to deal with. And yeah, by the stats wise it looks pretty good. Speed, acceleration, launch and braking are all really rather good. Off-road capability is decent for a car of this type, because obviously it's not meant for dealing with hardcore off-road elements. But the handling is a little bit of a concern, given it's got more than twice the power it had originally. So yeah, could go either way in terms of controllability, but yeah, the fastest Audi that we've had is still in the top 25 with the RS e-Tron GT, which managed a time of 3 minutes 18.373, so that was properly quick, especially for an electric car that is obviously quite heavy. This is decidedly lighter, but not necessarily going to be easier to control, so yeah, definitely louder though, especially with the anti-lag turbocharging that we've got going on it with it. And it definitely has more power than the e-Tron ever did, but and again the electric power of that is delivered in a completely different way to this, so pretty much evens out regardless. Bouncing all over the place. Even though this is significantly lighter than it was originally, it's still quite a heavyweight car. It's easily cracking 170 miles an hour now, which is pretty impressive. Now, like with the e-Tron, this obviously had all-wheel drive standards, so that's an advantage this has over other vehicles that were only rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive originally. It's not anything additional that it has to deal with, but it's definitely got all of that extra power to deal with, and from a much larger engine. 1700 extra cc's in this car now, and 2 extra cylinders, and twice the power, like I said. Oh dear, lots of oversteer there. Snap oversteer does seem to be an issue with this car in this upgraded form. Rear end going a little bit again. It's very nervous, this car, in terms of its handling. It doesn't feel anywhere near as secure as it did in its stock form. Can't quite be as full on with it as you might want to be. Does get up to some reasonable speed, so I'm going to give it a chance, but yeah, that's a completely incorrect trying to get entry into that corner there. So let's use a couple of rewinds. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, we're just going to have to take the bullet with that, unfortunately. Well, I think we're yeah, we're a lot slower than the e-Tron at 3 minutes 25.039, which, yeah, the car just was not stable enough from the majority for large portions of that run. The rear end was wanting to let go, and yeah, it was having a few issues with the suspension being a little bit bouncy at times, especially with the bumps and jumps. So yeah, quicker than the Ford F-150 Platinum, the SVT Lightning Platinum, or F-150 Lightning Platinum should I say, not the SVT. So it's quicker than that car, which was also an electric car like the e-Tron, but then again, given how much power this has, how much speed and acceleration it's got going on, I was expecting it to be quicker. So it just misses out on the top 50. Does though beat the GMC Jimmy, the Renault Megane RS250, Dodge Magnum SRT8, the Mini John Cooper Works GP, Subaru Brat GL and the Sierra Car 700R, but it is slightly behind the MG MG3, which yeah was even more out of its comfort zone with being a a city car with only front-wheel drive originally and barely 100 horsepower, as well as the Hoonigan Volkswagen Baja Beetle Scumbug, Honda Ridgeline Baja Trophy Truck and the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. So yeah, bit of a disappointment given all of the power and, like I said, they're really rather good stats, but I guess that 5.5 handling stat along with the sub 8.0 off-road stat really combined to make this not as great as it should have been, because yeah, it wasn't quite as capable off-road, and yet it also wasn't able to really deal with the power as well. So yeah, they combined to make a car that was really rather nervous at times, especially in terms of snap oversteer, and yeah, as a result I wasn't really able to use the power all that much, and yeah, couldn't really correct out that mistake in the final 10% of that of the course. So yeah, unfortunately that's why it's as slow as it was. Not the worst car that we've had by any means. Not sure if we've had many other Audis on this series. Obviously we've had the e-Tron. Yeah, it's also slower than the RS7 Sportback, which this is also similar to, but it is quicker than the TTRS. So yeah, it's not the slowest Audi that we've had, but it's hardly far from the the bottom. So unfortunately, yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.